Hi, um, my name is Ramez. I'm really happy to be here today and share with you what I've learned in my experience, which is not that big anyway, about team building or building teams. The first thing I would like to start with is why would we care about building teams? Whether we are managers or individual contributors, we should care about those. Because teams are the unit that we work in, and the only way to do better is to become a team. But more concretely, from a manager's perspective, is that the whole job of management is about people and results. We don't produce results ourselves as managers. We rely on our teams to deliver results, and we are there to support them and make them perform at their best. And management is about people and results. Without those results, you don't have a job, so there are no people to do anything about. And without those people, there are no results, so they are both very important. And even as an IC, working in a team will definitely feel much better than working with a group of people that have different ideas. So actually, the first team building event I ever worked on, organized, was as an IC in a team, which everybody thought, this is a great team, we don't need it. I saw there was something missing. I didn't know, so everything I'm going to talk about today is things I learned after that day. But that day I always thought there's something missing. We're a group of people, everybody is very competent in what they do. We share, or I think we share, common goals, but there's something missing. So I did this work and prepared a full day of having six persons inside a meeting room for the whole day with a lunch break. Everyone was not everyone was on board, but at the end of the day, everybody had seen this as a positive experience. Everybody saw something different, but always something positive. And I won't claim that this turned things around 180 degrees, no, but it helped us move forward one step. So what is a team? How can we tell if we have a team or not? So a team is, I think this, I got it from Wikipedia. A team is a group of a collection of individuals guided by a common purpose and hold its members mutually accountable. Mutually accountable. Very, I think, abstract, but it's basically about people there together having the same goal, going towards the same direction, but they are not just individuals in sync, they are more as one entity, and I'll go about this. So building teams is about transforming a group of individuals into a functioning team. A team that a group of people can be competent, can be very dynamic and everything, but the sum of the value, the total value of a team is higher than the sum of its individual members. And this is how I see a group of people. Different ones there. Everyone has their own agenda, their own goals, they have different things they want to get out of this. So the first thing we want to do is to put them in sync, so that they all go towards the same point and they all know why they're there. And this is basically the mission of the team. The first thing I would do with a team is to start by saying, why are we here? Not why I am here or not why you are here. Why, as a group of people, we are here. What are we here at this company doing? This is basically what the team mission is. And also, after that, okay, so where do we want to go? What is the future we want to see? What is the thing we want to reach? Where are we headed? So that every one of them can answer those two questions, or at least, state those two things. I know why we are here, and it's not why I am here, it's not why we are here as a group. And I know where we are going. This is the only way we can get them in sync, and they are all moving towards the same goal. Most important part of this is that everyone really should be on board. Not just know, but be part of creating this vision. so that they are all engaged, they all know where we're going, and they really want to go there, not just know that this group should be going there, I'll see if I'm going to go with them or not. Or it's really about how much engaged they are with this vision and mission. So now that we started from a group that is not in sync, now this is a group that is in sync, but that's not a team yet. There's one missing secret sauce, you can say, that will make them one entity. I move to the right way. It's trust. And I came up with this idea, and I saw that it's mentioned in many other blogs or articles or presentations, but I wanted to try to make it more concrete. So I trust my manager. And when I say I trust my manager, is that I know that they have my back. I know that they have my best interest. I know that they will help me grow, and when I have questions, they will answer, and if I'm blocked, they will unblock me. That's what it means I trust my manager. I trust my team to support me. I know that if I need help, somebody will help. I know if I'm late, somebody will come in and push me. I know if I'm feeling down, somebody, even Mike, can come and help me raise above the problems I have. I know my team supports me, and I can trust them to do that. I trust my team to do the job. Not my job, not their job, but our job. I don't have to work on my task thinking, are they working on theirs or not? I don't have to be worried, are we delivering the whole project or not? I know that we are all doing that. So I trust my team to do the job that we all do together, not just the individual smaller tasks. And I think the most important thing that comes on top of all of those is I feel safe in my team. I feel safe to go and say, I don't know, and nobody will judge me for it. I feel safe to go and point out something wrong we're doing, or something that I'm not okay with, and people won't judge me. And my team will actually listen and try to help me go through that. And as a team, we'll be better. It's very important to feel safe in the team. I think this is how we can describe this kind of trust. And this is the only way we can move from a synchronized group of people to one entity, a team. Okay, this is all nice. It shows that, okay, we know that we need trust. But how do we create this trust? How can we get a group of people to say those 4 sentences? It's not easy. It takes a lot of work. And it starts by managers, by us. Assuming everybody's a manager here, I don't know. But it's about leading by example. It's cliche, yes, but that's the first thing. That will start the first, that will lay the ground for trust. Simplest thing is, and whenever I have a new member or when I start with a new team, the first thing I say in a one-to-one meeting is, I fully trust you, and I expect you to fully trust me until I prove otherwise. Laying the ground for trust. And if I continue and show that I trust and they trust me, so now I've established this trust relationship over time with my reports, then they will trust each other by proxy. If you trust me and I trust the other person, you will by default trust that other person until proven otherwise. And so by trusting each one of your team, they will trust each other, and this is where we start. Okay, now we've laid the ground for trust. Now, you can hire very competent people, but they're not kind and empathetic, so they will not. So this trust doesn't mean anything for them. It's purely technical. What we want is kind and empathetic people who can feel the pain of others and can sympathize with vulnerability. And those are the people we want to have on our teams. We've all heard and read many times about the brilliant jerk. Mean person who's like very good, but he's mean. In my experience, brilliant jerks rarely exist. It's another form of really subtle. It's a very good person, technically, but they just don't care. They're nice. They would have coffee breaks. They would talk with people. But then when it comes to work, they're lone wolves. They work alone. That's the same sort of thing. These are not people who are kind, empathetic, that would listen to others. And if somebody needs help, they might help. Depends how, but they won't put heart in it. They won't really want to help them. I have a question, I answer it, and I go. This is not the kind of person you want. And if this is the person you have, you need to work with them and improving that. So now you have been leading by example. You have the right people on board. And now let them decide what they want to do. I like this, the golden circle thing, about why, how, and what. So everything starts with why. So that's why I started why we're doing this. And then the how. So how does the team want to work? So the team knows their why through their mission and vision. Now, how are they going to work? Does the team value clean code over functionality, performance? Do we value, as a team, documentation? Do we value automation? To what degree? How do we want to do the things? So that in every task, every one of them is aligned, and they doesn't have to think, okay, what should I do now? Or when they look at code reviews, they would say, okay, but you're missing that thing that we agreed on. There's no debate. We agreed on it. There's always room to rediscuss things, but at least everybody's aligned. So it actually helps us build this trust that we all agree on it. We've all decided on it, so we all live with it, and we don't have to debate about it every time. And I trust my team to do the same things, do things following the how that we decided. It's not something dictated. There are things that are coming from the company-wide decisions. There are things that you want to see as a manager in the team. But in general, this is something the team decides. And I think very important thing is to give them time to talk team. Simplest thing about talking team is team building events. What is the simplest form of team building? Anybody has an idea? Meeting? Eating. Not necessarily. I think the simplest form and the most effective form of team building is retrospectives. Retrospectives after a sprint are not time to only review projects, but review how the team was working together during this period of time. So yes, you will check what we've done on the project. Yes, you will check all the technical stuff. But then if you leave 30 minutes asking, how did we work as a team together? What went well and what went wrong as a team, as teamwork? This is where it starts to show. This is where the team will start discuss about these things and start coming up with these things. Or the points that worked well, didn't work well, how can we improve? This is the simplest form of team building. And this is what needs to become bigger thing when you do a team building, where you go and have fun, go karting, cooking, knitting, whatever the team likes to do. And then at the end, make sure that there is time to eat together. Yes, it's very important. And talk about things that have nothing to do, but also talk, are we feeling safe? Do we trust each other? Do we feel that we got each other's back? I think there's like 5 questions that Google have come up with about functional teams and how to measure. It's time to look at those questions. Do we feel the value of what we do? And all these questions that help the team figure out what they are, what they're doing, the value they bring, and their motivation to work, and how much they trust each other. This is very important time. So to sum it up at the end, team building is a continuous act. As I said, we trust each other until proven otherwise. So we all have to always keep this trust going and always act in trustful manners so that the team continues to nurture this trust. It's not something you do in the beginning of the team creation and then forget about it. It's something that you have to revisit maybe every 6 months. Mission is key to building a team, to create this group of synchronized people, and trust is what's going to make them a team. Thank you.
Question here, yes.
Hey, what's the one thing you had to work the hardest on yourself to become a better manager? We all have our flows and we're impatient, so yeah.
Oh, that's I'll tell you about one of my biggest mistakes. And one of my biggest mistakes is understanding that I have to care for people. So I tried management twice before actually becoming manager recently. I returned back to IC because it was difficult, and I just let it go for a while. Understanding that my job is people was the hardest thing for me to realize. Every time I took management before was because I wanted either a promotion, make decisions, power, basically. And then I made the mistakes of not caring about people and ended up in conflict with everyone in my team, which wasn't getting any results. I think that's the hardest thing and the hardest lesson I had.
It was worth it.
Thank you.
Yes. Always the same.
Thank you. You said in your presentation that one of the keys to bring in a team together was to hire an empathic engineering manager. So in a result-oriented company, how did you manage to actually give enough weight to empathy compared to, well, delivering and results?
Okay. I happen to be lucky to work at a company where they understand that already. I don't know how I would explain that to a company that doesn't have this culture of hiring. When they're, at least in the hiring process, consider their personality and consider if they are empathetic or not, if they think about others or not. I'm sorry, I don't have an answer to that, except I don't think I would be working for a company that really ignores that.
Thank you.
One last question. No?
Thank you. I have you brought and you focused on the trust between the team members, but I have a question where suppose you have two team members that the chemics didn't work between them and they like just didn't like each other, and it's how would you resolve that? Like, I don't know if it is common in your workplace, but when I had my job, it was very common. So how did you, if you had this kind of scenario, resolved it?
This situation is common in a sense that you can find at least once in every team. There are times where those conflicts can be resolved. There are times then when those conflicts won't be resolved, and the manager has to find a way to identify the areas where there's friction, and if it's not, and sometimes maybe work around those. If try to not put them in the situations that create conflict, and sometimes the only solution is to separate them by changing teams. So see who can change team and find a better way to go. Don't say fire them, but just help them find a different place in the company where they don't have this. And I've been through that specific situation where I worked with one of those two persons to find another team where they had the better fit, and that's what we call team fit. So everyone, when they join a team, they have to fit with the team somehow, and if that is not there, it has to be changed.
Thank you. I think yeah, just one. I think this is a good advantage what you said if you are in a big company, but if you are in a startup, that would be challenging, I guess. That's all.
Every situation will have its own challenges, I'm sure, yes.
Oui. Thank you very much.
Thank you.